Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
Now, one aspect of the Hajj pilgrimage is the Black Stone, and it's near the Kaaba. Many Muslims like to go there and kiss it or touch it in some way. So I want to ask you, Dr. Shabir, what is the significance of the Black Stone?
Well, the main significance, I believe, is that it marks a corner from which the circumambulation starts. If it had not been for this, then one would not like every corner would be the same. So there is this distinctive thing about that one corner, almost like a cornerstone is how we might regard the Black Stone here. Many buildings in the past were built in such a way that it has a kind of a cornerstone or something that's distinctive and marks, a beginning. Some buildings will have a little plaque that says like 1812. That's the year in which the building was built in our modern times. So in ancient times, this is what people did. They had a sort of distinctive corner.
So some people ask, do Muslims worship the Black Stone? What is their relationship to the Black Stone?
Of course, Muslims do not worship the Black Stone and cannot worship the Black Stone because the Quran is very clear that God is the unseen creator of the heavens and the earth, and Muslims are not to worship any representation of God. Just as in the Bible, it says that God does not look like anything that walks on the earth or swims in the ocean or flies in the sky. God in Islam as well is considered this transcendent being that we cannot see in this world. And at the same time, the Quran is continually condemning the worship of objects, like stones, for example, to the extent of the Quran saying that the fuel of the hellfire will be people and stones. And why stones? Well, one explanation is that people worship stone carvings as representations of God. And they will be shown, according to the Quran, in hell, that the very things that they worship cannot help them. Not only cannot help their worshippers, but they themselves are being burnt and heated in the fire.
It seems like Muslims do have some sort of reverence towards the Black Stone because people do, trample each other sometimes or push each other to try and get to it and to be the one to kiss it.
Well, there are two aspects to this. One is the idea that there is something there that is distinctive at that spot. And one wants to be able to come back and say, I did it. Because what happens is that people will come back saying, I went and I was able to touch the Black Stone.
Did you do it too?
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll ask each other.
So then everybody wants to be able to say, yeah, I was there and I, been there, done that, right? So that's a little bit trivial, but to give credence to your question, yes, there is a certain degree of reverence with which many Muslims approach the Black Stone. So where does that reverence come from? First of all, there's nothing in it about it in the Quran itself. The Quran speaks about Maqam Ibrahim, the position of Abraham, and it speaks about it more than once. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. Take the place where Abraham stood as a place of prayer. And in another verse, فِيهِ آيَاتٌ بَيِّنَاتٌ مَقَامُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. In the place of this sacred mosque, there are many clear signs, including the place where Abraham stood. So Muslims will go and pray at the place where they understand that Abraham prayed, which is not this Black Stone. So the Black Stone is not mentioned in the Quran. Why? If it had that great significance, you would expect that it would be mentioned. But it is mentioned in hadith, and though the hadiths are several, if we count the various books in which they are mentioned, we find that they actually narrow down to a few narratives, like one from Omar, the second caliph of Islam, saying that had I not seen the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, kissing the stone, I would not have done it myself, because after all, it is just a stone. It can neither benefit nor harm me. And from his son, Ibn Omar, who related that when the Prophet, peace be upon him, circumambulated the Kaaba, he touched it with a stick and he kissed his hand after having done that. So that shows a certain degree of reverence. But besides these sparse narratives, We don't have like a lot of companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, relating that they saw, as Omar said, he saw the Prophet, peace be upon him, kissing. And sometimes people exaggerate things, because in one of the narratives it even says that the Prophet, peace be upon him, prostrated upon it. But again, this is not widely reported, and so one has to be cautious about regarding this as an absolute fact. What is more widely reported and was publicly observed is that when the Prophet, peace be upon him, performed the final pilgrimage, he did so on camelback. So it's hard for pilgrims to imagine that today, because we go walk around reverently around the Kaaba, but he was actually doing it on camelback. And because he was on camelback, he had to, to touch the black stone. He couldn't reach it except with a stick. So he touched it with a stick. Now, touching it with a stick, is the opposite of reverence, it would seem. So if the Prophet, peace be upon him, had such great reverence for the black stone, it's hard to think that he would have touched it with a stick, rather than, for example, getting off his camel and touched it reverently with his hands and then moving on. So it shows that there's a great degree of flexibility about that, and the reverence that some Muslims have paid towards the black stone might be slightly exaggerated.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe, and please donate to support our work at QuranSpeaks.com.